We're very excited about today's program and our special guest. He's been with us before, and the feedback from our viewers was excellent. And so I'm thrilled to welcome back to the television program Dr. David Sloan. Dr. Sloan, welcome back.
It's a pleasure, Bill. Great to be here.
So Dr. Sloan is our resident natural health expert. And so when we have health questions, we are the one that we turn to. And so you were gracious enough to make some time available for us. We appreciate that. And so for the benefit of those viewers that may be meeting you for the very first time, maybe you can give us a quick bio of who you are and what you do and where your clinic is. And then we're going to get into the topic, which I think is a really exciting one for our viewers, how to age gracefully.
Gracefully, yes. Well, I've been in practice for longer than I can believe, going on 38 years now.
Excellent.
We have a new clinic in Whitby, Sloan Natural Health Center. We are doing many exciting things. We have developed a health model. I'm going to be discussing that a little bit more in a later program. But our focus is to integrate natural with medical, conventional medical care, implementing the best of both worlds to get the best patient outcomes. So, as I say, I've been practicing for many years, and we are excited to be in Whitby, brand new clinic, and it's just been great.
For the benefit of those that may want to contact you, what's the website again? We'll just have it, and we'll mention it throughout the program.
Sure. The website is sloannaturalhealthcenter.com, and the office clinic number 905-493-3553.
Excellent. We'll make sure we get that up on the screen and make reference to it again throughout the program. And so as we sat a couple of weeks ago, we had lunch, we talked about the possibility of you coming back on the program. You agreed, and you came with, I think, it's a very interesting topic, which is 7 keys to aging gracefully. And then I think you have as a tagline, even if you already feel old. So let's talk about that. So is there practical things that anyone can do that allows us to age, well, have more control over our aging process? Or
yeah, we know that our days are numbered. We're not going to live forever, at least not on this planet.
Yes.
But there are things that God has given us that are absolutely incredibly powerful and transformational. And all we need to do is to tap into them. I guess we might say they're health secrets, but they're not really secrets. They're common sense. But it's something that seems to be lacking today in our sort of view, our healthcare system, and a lot of things are just kind of backwards. So what I'm trying to do is to help our audience to understand that even if you are in kind of bad shape, if you don't feel your health is very good, even then there are many things that you can do to bring that health back, because God has given us healing powers.
Right.
The ability for our body to heal is much stronger than it is to break down. So in a sense, it's a message of hope and encouragement. And just get started one step at a time, and you will see God's blessing on your efforts. So what I wanted to do is to start off with the first key.
So you have 7 keys, right?
7 keys. The first key is the acronym TRANSFORM, which on previous programs, we had dealt with that in detail.
Exactly.
But because it forms the basis for the other 6 keys, I want to review it.
Absolutely.
Because it is one of the fundamental things. It's really what God has given us, kind of the basics of health, which we can implement, and just doing that alone can make a big difference. So, transform, T, trust in the Lord. That is the most important thing, and that's why it's the first letter, trust in the Lord. And if we analyze that just a little bit more carefully, trust is, well, it's faith. It's
Yes.
like I have faith in God because I have belief that everything that I do, God is under control.
Right.
And so I can rest in that knowledge. So trust or faith in the Lord with all my heart. All, not just part, but all.
Exactly.
We give ourselves to God. We follow His instructions as He's given to us in the Bible, and not lean on our own understanding. So that's Proverbs 3, verse 5, gives us a good start to our sort of, what is our headspace? Where
Right,
what is our
right,
attitude
exactly.
towards health? Where is it? What's the foundation? And that foundation is God.
Exactly.
So that's T. So our rest, and there's various kinds of rest, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more. A is for activity, which it kind of is a much nicer sounding word than exercise. And so activity being very important. And nutrition. And S, supplementation. I'm going to get into that as well because in the world that we live in, things have degenerated to a point that supplementation becomes very valuable and important. The use of vitamins, minerals, herbs, and so on and so forth,
Okay.
to assist us in the nutritional aspect of our makeup. So we're F for finances, for money management, for tithing and the concept of tithing. F, finances. O, outlook, the choices that we make in life, and the kind of view that we have, our attitude. And then we have R, the second R, standing for relationships, healthy relationships. And then M, standing for motivation. And having meaning and purpose in life. Those are the steps that Transform will.
Yeah, the first time I heard
Yes.
Transform that you presented, I found it brilliant. I think God has really inspired you with that. And it's interesting to me how much of it has to do with mindset and sort of creating that kind of context for the healing to take place by having the right state of mind. That's very
Absolutely.
interesting. And,
Yeah.
I think Transform just encapsulates it perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so that's the first
It's the first step.
step.
Okay. So the second key is weight control.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about you, but every time I pick up something at the grocery store, I look at the magazine stand and I see a new diet, a
Right.
new fad diet.
Exactly.
And this has been going on ever since I can remember as a
Right.
young boy, that I just never ceases to amaze me how many of these diets, bizarre and outlandish as they are, that guarantee that with a snap of a finger you're going to lose
Right.
all this weight.
Right. And some of them actually seem contradictory. You know,
Well,
only
yeah.
eat carbs, don't eat any carbs. I mean, how do
just
you?
all over the
Exactly.
map. And the unfortunate thing is that as I see these people coming into my clinics who have tried these, they have been a failure, they don't work, and they create problems such as immune compromisation, thyroid disruption, a loss of muscle mass, lean muscle mass, which is one of the cardinal sins you do not want to do when you're losing weight. You don't want to lose your lean muscle mass. So it's a sad commentary on the levels that we have sunk in chronic degenerative disease due to this, well, I might say it's a pandemic or an endemic, a pandemic of weight gain that has risen to such proportions that we just can't really.
So let me ask you:
control
is it fair to say there's no quick fix to the weight problem, but even small steps and incremental increases in you'll see results right away.
Right. The thing is that when I look at a program, say, for example, like The Biggest Loser,
Right.
and I see what these participants go through to lose weight, and I know that it's really the wrong way to try and lose weight, and that when you lose weight the proper way, it is actually simple, and it's actually enjoyable. And so, going back to the basics, let's just first of all look at what is the cause of weight gain.
Okay.
Why are we gaining weight? No one seems to know. We're just gaining weight. But the answer is very simple. Weight gain is a hormonal issue.
Interesting.
It's caused by hormonal fluctuations. That hormone that mainly is the culprit is insulin. Of course, we know insulin, hormone that is used to help metabolize sugar into our cells. So if we go back to look at sugar, and we could say carbohydrates, back in the 1700s, the average consumption a year of sugar was around 4 pounds.
Okay.
So as we, fast forward through the years up to 2012, we were in North America on average consuming 170 pounds
Whoa.
of sugar per year.
So from 4 to 170 pounds.
Yes.
Wow.
And so the pancreas, of course, is designed to meter out insulin to meet the carbohydrate demand and metabolize those sugars into the cells. So now, instead of 4 pounds a year, it's 170 pounds. That's an average. So
Wow.
there's a lot of people less, but there's many people much more.
Wow.
And so the pancreas is basically on overdrive.
Right.
It's constantly producing insulin. Now, that's fine, but the pancreas is getting overworked. And as we can see, we have a huge amount of diabetes.
Yes.
That, again, another pandemic. But what basically is happening is that because it's not metered, it's not controlled as far as the secretion, at the end of the day, there is insulin that's left over because it can't be exactly measured in meeting the amount
Okay.
of carbohydrate or sugar that needs to be metabolized. And so the body has to do something with that insulin because that insulin is like a two-edged sword. It works wonderfully to metabolize our sugars, but if we have too much or anything's left over in the body, it's a liability because it causes cell and tissue damage. So the body has to create something to protect itself from this excess insulin, and that's fat.
Oh, okay.
And so every day, every week, every month, we're adding extra fat cells to engulf and protect our body from that excess insulin. And before you know it, a year or two passes by and you've gained 10, 20, or 30 or more pounds. So the problem then is with insulin, and what do we do about that?
Okay.
And we simply look at reducing the amount of insulin by reducing the amount of carbohydrates.
Okay. Because folks will say, well, I'm not eating 170 pounds of, spoonfuls of sugar, but it's coming in all kinds of different formats, right?
Yeah, hidden formats, visible and hidden formats. Our diet has changed. Since I was in practice some years ago, I've noticed a change that we're eating less protein and we're eating far more carbs.
Okay, so you're
That's
saying, right,
haven't changed too much.
Right,
but
okay.
Yeah, so we've seen a shift.
right,
And a lot of that has to do, I believe, is with, the preponderance of fast food and junk food and
Right,
things
okay.
like that. So what we need to do is to consider the lowering of carbohydrates. And what does that do? So if we lower the carbohydrates, that helps our pancreas to produce less insulin. And at the same time, it forces our body to seek another source of energy.
okay,
So as long as we
Okay, right.
maintain enough protein in our diet, we've reduced the carbohydrates, then our body will shift to burning fat.
Oh, okay, because it needs that source of energy.
Needs that source of energy. So the body fat then becomes our main source of energy. And as long as our fats in our diet are kept reasonably low, then our body will get its energy from our own body fat. Now this is a really amazing concept. It's called ketosis or fat burning, not to be confused with ketoacidosis, which is a diabetic condition. And this allows your body to tap into your body fat, not only during the day, but even while you're sleeping.
Oh, interesting.
So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Wow.
you're actually expending your own energy in the form of your body fat. And by making sure that you eat enough protein to make sure that your body doesn't pull protein out of your lean muscle mass, you will maintain your lean muscle mass, burn your body fat, and lose that weight.
So if there's not enough protein, your body will draw that from...
It will.
Oh, I see, okay.
So this is where we run into problems with other diets, because if you don't, or if you do lose lean muscle mass, you're losing metabolism, which is basically what is burning your calories.
Got it.
And the failure in the weight loss industry is that over 90% of people who lose weight will gain it all back again.
You see that, yes.
And even more besides.
Right.
One of the main reasons for that is going back to old habits, but also being on the diet that they were created a loss in muscle mass,
I see.
which reduced their metabolism.
Got it.
And so that creates this sort of, the body is more efficient now, it's cut down in metabolism, and so whatever you eat gets turned into fat, or at least more gets turned into fat, so hence the weight gain. So I'm going to give, for the benefit of our viewers, what I would say if you want to do this at home to lose weight, here's what I would recommend. Here's my prescription.
Sure.
First of all, if you're going to do it on your own, see your doctor and get your doctor's approval first. That's important.
Yes.
Losing weight is actually a very challenging on the body. So you have to make sure that you don't have existing conditions that might put you at some risk.
Okay.
So it is important to do that.
Yes.
Here it is. So 4 cups daily of low glycemic vegetables that don't produce a lot of blood sugar.
Give us a couple of examples.
So it could be like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, peppers, you know, onion,
right.
All those kinds of things. You can go online and you can look for low glycemic vegetables. So that would be the
So
thing.
4 cups?
4 cups a day of those.
Okay.
3 excellent servings of protein.
Okay.
And all you want of raw lettuce, spinach, mushrooms, celery, cucumber, all you want of that. 10 glasses of water a day. Avoid things like root vegetables, cereals and grains, fruit juices, sugar, pop, alcohol. These are all high carbohydrate foods. Keep fats low in the diet. And I have an extra tip, which is a cleansing tea that I use, which will even move it along faster. I'll talk about that actually on another program that will finish off our 7 keys. So that is the recipe or the prescription that will help you to lose weight and lose it very effectively.
Excellent.
When you're losing weight the proper way, it's like comparing trying to sit down in a chair without actually sitting down. So like this, how long can you actually?
Not very long.
It's very difficult.
Exactly.
But losing weight the right way, as I've been describing, is like sitting in this chair. It's easy.
Easy.
Your energy goes up, cravings go down. You actually enjoy it. You feel good. You're not climbing the walls. With, You know, where's I need this or whatever. I'm starving. I can't do this, or in a bad mood because you're so irritable being on this program. No, it won't happen if you do it the right way.
Now, obviously, we're limited by time, and we need to move on to the third key. But give us the number again where folks can call you and you'll be happy.
Our clinic number,
Yes.
905-493-3553.
Okay. Can we move on to the third?
Absolutely.
Third key?
So the third key is the adopting of a plant-based diet.
Okay.
And, you know, when I started out and changed from a meat-eating diet to a vegetarian diet, I was a pioneer. My wife and I were pioneers. We hardly knew anybody that followed a plant-based diet, but we discovered in the Bible, Genesis 1, verse 29 and 30, and Genesis 3, verse 18. So the very first book in the Bible.
Right at the beginning, yep.
God had instituted and had recommended for us right off the bat that a plant-based diet was going to be what was best for us. And since then, science has vindicated that many, many times over, that this is the most superior diet for our health, preventing disease, and so on. And so, in my own experience, I found it to be very true because as viewers who may have seen previous programs, I was given a death sentence. And my health was so bad that in desperation, I was given advice to follow a vegetarian, a vegan, actually a vegan diet completely. In desperation, I followed that diet, and that has reaped huge rewards for my health and the health of my family.
Can I just interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
Commonly, here's what you hear. Well, you know, you're going to be able to get enough protein from a plant-based diet?
Yeah.
Because we talked about the importance of protein,
Absolutely.
right? Can you get?
So protein is in every single food that we eat. That's one thing that people may not realize. Secondly, protein is easily absorbed in the vegetarian form. So if you think of a gorilla. Is a gorilla weak?
No.
Is a gorilla have problems?
No.
That's all they eat a plant-based diet. And I don't know many gorillas that, you know, don't have lots of muscle.
Right.
So the protein issue is really overdone.
Okay.
It's really not an issue per
Yes.
se, as long as you eat a good variety of foods and incorporate, you know, and I'm talking about a maintenance plan here, not on our weight loss part, but incorporating your whole grains, your nuts, your seeds, your legumes. All of those things maintain your weight really well and help you to get the protein requirements that you need.
Well, we're going to be, we have to wrap up because we're out of time. The time just flies by.
It flies.
So a couple of things. Want our viewers to know, Dr. Sloan will be with us again next week because we need to go through keys 4, 5, 6, and 7.
That's right.
And so tune in. And we will have on our website, on the l4ltv.com website, a link where folks can get in contact with you and maybe come out and see you at your clinic. But we always end our program in a word of prayer, and so just going to ask our viewers to pray with us now. Gracious God, loving Heavenly Father, thank you so much for everything you do for us, and thank you for men and women like Dr. Sloan, that you've given this knowledge. That, Father, I pray that as we hear these practical, common sense approaches, that you will motivate us to make the kinds of changes that we need to make in our lives, that, as you have said, you would like to see us live life and live it more abundantly. Please bless each and every viewer now, I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Well, Dr. Sloan, we've come to the end of the program. Thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to having you back again next week as we continue this important discussion. But just before we go again, can you just remind folks of your website and the phone number for your clinic?
You can visit us online at sloannaturalhealthcenter.com, and our clinic number is 905-493-3553.
Excellent. Thank you. So Dr. Sloan will be back with us again next week. If you have a friend or a family member that didn't tune into this program, don't worry. go to our website, l4ltv.com. You just click on the previous programs tab, and this program will be there. And you may want to just go over it again and listen to the wise counsel that Dr. Sloan has provided us. While you're on the website, why not venture over to the tab that says Donate Today and make a donation, make an investment in this television ministry that will allow us to keep the program on the air. I also have an Instagram account, and every day on Instagram, I put out a 1-minute devotional video. If you'd like to receive that, follow me on Instagram, Santos_Bill. We're all out of time. We are so grateful that you joined us. We look forward to doing this again real soon. God bless you. We'll see you then.